here's what I think. Right now, we got the analysts who, they loved you at 110, okay? At 76, they can't stand you. I see it differently. I see it that you got a plan, and I want to know the case to own Starbucks. If you're sitting at home, down 8 to 76, you're drinking your Starbucks because nothing's changed like that. Why should I own it?
Yeah, well, good morning, guys. And yes, look, the simple answer is we are turning the business around. And a lot of the progress that we're making on the Back to Starbucks strategy is happening kind of below the surface. You know, we're taking a stage gate approach where we're going to first learn on it, and then we'll roll and scale it. And what I'm happy to say is I said we would improve speed. We've got a pilot going on what we call a technology algorithm that's demonstrated big improvements in speed. In the cafe, speed is improved by 2.5 minutes. The drive-through is under 4 minutes, and mobile order is being on time and accurate. We got another pilot going where I said, look, we got to improve how we connect around the Starbucks brand. We got to move away from this idea of just production and task-oriented to connection and craft in a great seat. And in the places where we've got that pilot going across 700 stores, again, seeing great response. Transactions are moving up, comp is moving up, connection is moving up. Customers are telling me they're experiencing the Starbucks experience that they love. And, you know, most cases, people are grabbing their For Hereware and grabbing their ceramic mug and staying. So those two big spots, we're seeing great progress. And then there's other places where we're making progress as well that you'll see us start rolling out in 26. The digital experience. We're going to improve the app experience. The rewards program. We're going to move it from being a coupon book to actually a rewards program. So all the things we said we're going to do in the actual Back to Starbucks program is in action. The other thing that I started to share with people is we're rebuilding the pipeline as it relates to innovation around beverages and food. And so you're going to see that starting to come to market, you know, the end of this calendar year and as we roll into 26. So tremendously optimistic about what we're seeing happening in the Starbucks business in the U.S. And then look, the Back to Starbucks strategy is already starting to be implemented around the world. In 8 out of 10 markets, comp growth internationally. China had our best quarter in a while. They expanded margins, got to flat comp with transaction growth. So, you know, look, in the near term, the earnings will lag, but longer term, my experience has always been if you drive growth, you do the right thing for the customer, our partner, you know, the financial performance comes with it. And look, I finally have my team in place at the leadership level, and we are all rowing together on how do we drive the Starbucks business to deliver on what we know this brand is capable of. Tremendously excited. And, you know, of course, as we invest in the business, we'll be smart about cost. I think I've demonstrated that in the past. And, you know, what I'm seeing, this is how a turnaround works. So right. I'm excited.
Right. Well, okay, so a bunch of the analysts seem to key on the idea that you previously, not you, but the company had spent a lot on equipment, not a lot on labor. There were several analysts, obviously, who were concerned labor's expensive. The margins were not that good. This is not stuff that they said. You said it, too. So how can we make it so that you can spend all this money to get labor right and expect that anything can turn in 2025?
Yeah, I don't know. Look, 2025 is not my focus. What my focus is, how do we get to the right levels of staffing, the right deployment, so our partners are set up for success, and therefore give our customers a great experience and a great connection. Look, one of the big points of difference for Starbucks is, yes, we've got terrific coffee, we've got terrific products, but we have a community space with a connection with our baristas. And when we staff and deploy that way, there is nobody like the Starbucks business, and that's what we're going to invest in. Equipment plays a role in some places, but equipment is not the solution in order for us to deliver great craft, great connection. What is that solution? It is figuring out the right staffing, the right deployment, so that we get the growth that we need because we're providing a differentiated experience. The Starbucks business is so powerful around the world because it's differentiated through its experience and the craft that we provide. And that is what I am 100% energized about, and that's what I'm so optimistic about, because that's what I'm seeing as we put the right technology behind the scenes to set our partners up for success with the speed of service, and then we also staff and deploy correctly so they can do the connection and provide that whole experience that people love, where they know your name when you walk in, they know your order. Look, Jim, I had a great experience. I was at a store, new manager, and she says to me, you know what's great about this store is all the customers came in and introduced me to tell me that they were a regular. That's the Starbucks ethos. That is what's behind what makes our coffee and our experience so special. It is that connection between the barista and our customer, and we're doing it around the world, and we're going to get back to doing it in the U.S.
Brian, it's David. You mentioned, of course, doing it around the world. You have 7,700, actually a bit more than 7,700 stores in China. Obviously, we're in the middle of a fairly heated trade war with that country. I'm just curious to get your perspective. Is it a concern for you if nationalism should rise and people should start to see Starbucks as a U.S. brand, that perhaps your traffic will diminish?
You know, we haven't seen that yet. What we have seen in our China business is that team over there is doing a great job of getting focused on what is the right product innovation and what is the right customer experience that we need to provide. And I think you're seeing that in their results. So you've seen traffic come back, comp is flat, and you know, when I talk to the team, they're very optimistic about what's to come, both in the product innovation as well as the stores we're going to build. So as of right now, the Starbucks brand continues to be a really strong brand in China, and I think our team is doing a nice job of keeping it relevant at that local level in China.
And you feel confident, I know this was said on the call as well, you feel confident to be committed to that market for the long term?
Yeah, look, we're definitely going to be a long-term player in China. We'll always be evaluating what is the best way for us to grow in that market. So, you know, but it doesn't change our point of view on it's a big market with a big opportunity and an emerging coffee category.